Hey guys, welcome to the LGBTQ Voice. My name is Traci Welch. Tonight we're going to be talking about healthy lifestyle choices. We may be having a little bit of technical difficulties going on. We're working on that from last week. So AJ is going to be putting up our new sponsorship. I posted on the LGBTQ Voice Facebook page today. We'll talk about it every week. If you want to sponsor the show, that 50% of all the sponsorship money that we get goes to the South Coast LGBTQ network. And we do Pride Cafe, we do South Coast Pride, we do our Rainbow Club, which is our 8 to 13-year-old group. We started Sober and Out. We actually did events with the Winter Film Series that we have. We're doing it again this year. So if you want to continue to support in those programs, other programs in the community, we had a health fair that we did, and we have so much more we'd like to do. Just please respond to our Facebook post. And again, it's leo@newbedfordguide.com. You can find that on the South Coast LGBTQ Network Facebook page, or this show, the LGBTQ Voice. So I'm going to, I apologize, I keep hearing that. Is that you, AJ? That barking, that noise, is that your machine? Or is it downstairs?
That's downstairs. Sorry
guys, they must be doing something downstairs. I thought it was our technology again. AJ, I don't see the New Bedford Guide on my phone. Oh, here we go. If you guys have any questions or comments, please let me know, and I will be more than glad to answer them tonight. If I get a little bit behind because we're talking, Mariah and Kevin are here, our production assistants, and they'll help us out. So we're going to introduce our guests, and thank you, Dr. Michael Rocha, Gilda. I call her Gilda Downey, but it's Petrogala Downey. We have Crystal and Jeff, and they are from, I'm going to keep reading their shirt, Healthy Bites Meal Prep. So as we talk about each week, we have different things we want to talk about. So I wanted to kind of change it up a little bit, and alternative choices. You know, you guys see me every week, and almost every week, every other week I say I'm fat and happy. We have choices in our lives. My choice is I can go to the gym every day, but I choose to help my community. So I want to kind of give you guys options that if you're out and about and you don't have time to cook those healthy meals, I wanted to give an option. So when I checked it out on the internet, I found this business is Healthy Bites Meal Prep, and it's on 804 Belleville Ave, New Bedford. Correct. So then I have Gilda owns the Stone Rooster in Marion. May I say your age today?
Sure.
All right. She's 94 years old. And she works 1 p.m. to 1 a.m. 7 days a week. So I thought, being a different perspective, somebody with age, beauty, wisdom would be great to have on the show. And Dr. Rocha is actually the cardiologist and director of the New Bedford Wellness Initiative and co-founder Physicians to Prevent Opiate Abuse. Did I forget anything?
I don't think so.
All right, cool beans. So we have nobody asking us questions right now. Do you guys keep hearing that?
Yeah, there's a dog somewhere.
Oh, is there a dog in the basement?
Yeah, outside or downstairs, yeah.
Well, what's like 2 floors up, 3 floors up?
Hear it pretty clearly.
Oh, there's an alleyway? Or we'll figure that out. So we kind of want to start with Gilda, age before beauty and beauty and age. So I met Gilda, we think about 8 years or so ago.
8 years.
My brother used to work and help her out on Thursday night. She was busier on a Thursday night, and he's like, "You got to come check out this lady. You got to check her out." And at the time, I worked till almost 5 o'clock. I had our youth group from 5 to 7, and then I was in a pool league, so I couldn't get a chance to see her. So my brother met me out there on a different night, and I said, "Oh my God, I gotta meet this woman." You don't have to meet; you just got it. It was one of those things. You just have to meet Gilda. So when I did, I was like, "Oh my God, she's the same now as I met her 8 years ago." You guys can't see her pants, but today she's got skulls on her pants. Live and love. Live and love. That's actually, sometimes I wear a baseball cap that says love, not hate or something. I'll wear that sometimes. So Gilda, some of the questions we have for you. Where do you get your clothes? Every time I see you, you could have a vest on or a fur-looking vest. Well, actually, you have one of your vests on today. She has skull spandex leggings. She wears Nike sneakers, depending on
I'm a little out there.
Yeah, you're a little out there? Mm-hmm. So why do you say you're a little out there?
Well, because at my age, I just dress and do what I want to do.
So have you always been that way?
No.
So what all of a sudden made you say, you know what, I'm going to be me?
Oh, I'd say probably I know my husband passed away in 2004, and it was difficult, and I don't know, I just decided to be me.
Yep. Well, her husband Paul passed away, and before Paul passed away, Paul was in the military in the service, and he went blind. So he went to a training. So you want to talk about the training just for a little bit?
And he went training, and he came back, and he was totally a different person. He cooked, worked the bar.
Yep. Could you imagine somebody blind making you a mixed drink? I couldn't.
He was.
Yep.
It was difficult in the beginning to be with them. All of a sudden, you're blind. What am I going to do? I didn't know how I was going to handle it, but I did.
So he went for training for how long?
Huh?
How long was his training?
4 months.
4 months. So did he go away for 4 months? Or,
Yeah. 4 months.
So how did you deal with him being gone? Or I know you had your daughter.
I had to do what I had to do. You just can't dwell on things. You just got to keep going.
And I think, you know, when I talk to Gil all the time, well, it's just a different age, and it is what it is, and I can't control it. And I'm just going to deal with it and kind of go with it.
No, I just stick with it, and somebody's got to do it.
Yep. And
So they picked me.
Yep, they did. And I'm glad my brother introduced me to you.
Huh?
I'm glad Donnie introduced me to you.
Yes, I am also.
Yep.
And I've met a lot of great friends knowing him.
Yep.
Great friends.
That's terrific. So I met Gilda on Friday. Usually I meet Gilda once a week. So one of the topics for Gilda is she's a breast cancer survivor. So to go through the breast cancer, to go through her husband going blind, to losing her husband, and she still has this positive attitude. What was it like, you know, going through all that?
I just went with it. I never told anybody what was going on with my personal life with the breast cancer. I just went, did it, got back, went to work.
Yep. I think it's one of the things I admire about Gilda. Today people put on Facebook, I have a toenail, you know, I broke a nail, I broke this, I broke that, and here's Gilda, a breast cancer survivor, and people come up, you did what? Why didn't you tell me? She goes, it is what it is, I got work to do, what do you want for a drink?
I never talked to
yeah.
What am I going to tell somebody? Hey, listen, I just had this, and why? They have enough of their own problems.
Yep.
I just did what I had to do.
So, how do you know Dr. Rocha, Dr. Mike?
Well, Dr. Rocher plays in the big band, and he plays at my place. And we get to talking, and I think we talked a lot about health, food, no drinking.
How did you end up playing at Gilda's?
So we started playing at Gilda's, we probably started, what, 7, 8 years ago now?
8 years.
It was 8 years ago. And, you know, we've had the privilege of being the big band in residence at Gilda's Stone Rooster. And it really is quite a place to play. We've been there probably at least 2 times, 2 Mondays a month, sometimes all 4.
Yeah, sometimes in the summer it was 3.
Yeah.
It's an awesome, I don't know, sometimes it can be very depressed, but as soon as I hear that band, I'm done.
And her bar's packed. You need reservation. You can't just walk up and go, hey, I'm going to Gilda's tonight to get jazz playing. You can't get in. Once they're at capacity, they won't let you in.
But we're missing something.
What are we missing, Gilda?
His band.
Yeah.
He's got a brass band.
Yep, so.
That is hot.
Yeah. So the big band is what, 17 piece?
17 piece.
Yep.
And that's run by Bob Williamson at the Symphony Music Shop, who really, he put the South Coast Jazz Orchestra together actually almost 10 years ago. And it's been really a great opportunity for lots of different musicians to be able to come and play. Again, in a lot of ways, a lost art form. So it's hard to get 17 people together, and it's also hard to find a venue that you'd be able to play at because space.
Yeah.
You know, you have to have the right situation for. Some places, you know, can't really accommodate that. They're either too small or the music booms. But it's amazing that at the Stone Rooster, people kind of say, "How do you fit a big band in the Stone Rooster?" And it really isn't overpowering. And you know, like you said, it's not just live music, it's the community that comes out on a Monday night, and people continue to make the same reservations because it is building community. Because most people think about going out as a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but you know, really coming together for the music is the most important thing on a Monday night, and it is medicine.
Yeah, I went once to take pictures. I started Gilda's Facebook page for her. I'm like, Gilda, you got to get to the 20th century. Let's start a Facebook page. And I went once. For me, it's like, it's too much for too many people. If you, like I said, a jazz dinner, I'd be all right with that. But it's amazing. It's packed. I mean, you can't, I mean, you can move, you can get through the aisles, the rest of them, I won't say it's like, oh my God. But it's amazing. And you do the brass band.
Yeah, so the brass band is a little different. So the big band is, you know, again, does a little of almost all kinds of music, almost all from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and then, you know, people have done arrangements. The brass band is kind of is a New Orleans funky, jazzy kind of band. You'd be kind of something you'd find down in New Orleans, and you know, we've had both groups are so much fun, and you know, we've had that opportunity to be there and continue to build the crowd. Yeah.
And when we talk about, you know, music is healthy. You know, and then if you ever go on a Monday night and you get your reservation, Gilda dances. You know, it's not just Gilda. There's people get up, they do a little dance or just hang around, but it's just nice to see, you know, Gilda getting up. When I see the videos that you guys post, I'm like, oh my God, here's Gilda. Yeah, I just think it's amazing. So I know that's how you guys met and you guys do the jazz, but we actually invited Dr. Rocha's group, the New Bedford Wellness, New Bedford Well, to our New Bedford Pride the last 2 years. So we start off with yoga in the park in the morning. I know how did a fat and happy person figure this out? I'm the events chair for the network. And we started off with yoga in the morning, then the wellness walk, and then we have our Pride event from 11 to 4. And then after that event, we have a local gay bar that if people want to do the drinking part and the loud music part, then we go to our bar. But I just think it's important to get our community, you know, involved in healthier lifestyle choices. And some of our kids have never seen yoga. We had a grant for yoga at our youth center, and that grant went away. Mm-hmm. So we actually, the network just started yoga. It's a 14+ group night on, God help me, yoga, Mondays?
Mondays, 5:30.
5:30 to 6:30, because Pride Cafe is 7 to 9, and it's, again, healthier lifestyle choices, getting people out of the bar scene. So it's 484 Pleasant Street, downtown New Bedford. It's not ADA compliant. One day maybe we'll get a center that is. But again, it's a healthier choice of people getting out of the bar and, you know, yoga and getting that exercise. I don't do yoga yet, maybe one day, not today. But Kevin goes every Monday, and he gets his yoga on. Mm-hmm. So how did you, you know, what inspired you to start the wellness program?
Yeah, so the wellness program started in 2014, and it just simply started as a walk. So when you look around in our community, and just like many other communities are struggling with things that are preventable. So much of heart disease or much of chronic diseases could be prevented. And unfortunately, I hate to see people in the back end waiting for them to become sick or ill, and you know, sometimes when it may be too late to really make a big impact. And as I like to say, prevention is the cure, excuse me. So, you know, we're searching for sometimes these fancy medications or procedures to be a cure for a disease that maybe we shouldn't have in the first place. And so we started, it was kind of funny, and this was actually pre-Facebook for me, but we started a walk around Buttonwood Park, probably about 10 to 12 people. And it kind of started, it continued as once a month, and then we had a Facebook page, and then the rest is history, so to speak. But what we've been able to do is to really kind of each year build different things into the programming. In fact, now I'm very excited because we partnered with an international program, Walk with a Doc, and we now are able to do it once a week, and we have about 10 physicians through all the different healthcare centers around. So we have doctors from South Coast, from Hawthorne, from the health center that are able to do the walk. And it's not just the opportunity to walk with a doctor. We try to make sure that we talk about something healthy each time. And to start it off with kind of 2 or 3 minutes of something that's important or maybe pertinent, and then we go for a walk. And it's interesting because what happens is people start to ask questions that either they didn't have time or didn't feel comfortable with, you know, and unfortunately this fast-paced medical society, so to speak, that we've created, and it really is kind of a nice time for people to sometimes see us outside the office, which I think is really important. So that's kind of, we've been able to grow the walk, but we've also done, the wellness program started on Sundays in 2015, where we have free yoga, we have free aerobics, we have actually a hypnotist that does smoking cessation. We've had several people that have been successful in stopping smoking. We also do...
Gilda has a phone call. We'll be right with you. Hold on, guys.
I can't see
You
that.
gotta hit the red one,
Yeah, I
Gilda.
can't. Which one is that?
So we also do yoga, we do qigong, we
There
have
you
a nutrition class, we have a massage therapist.
You wanna put it
and
on silent?
We've been really fortunate to provide this free to the community, so whoever can make it there, we do it from 9 to 1 on Sundays at the Boys and Girls Club in New Bedford. And we meet people it's for adults at this point, but we meet people where
So
they're at.
18 plus?
Yes,
Okay,
18
yeah.
plus. So what we're trying to do is, we're not trying to turn this into a fitness center, and actually we have fitness instructors and different instructors from all the different venues throughout the community to try to have meeting people where they're at. And we want to make it so when people show up on Sundays, they don't feel like they have to show up in shape, so to speak. Our goal is to be, we modify yoga, we modify things. People can't, do certain things, they can do it in a chair, So we're really trying to meet people where they're at. And it's been a lot of fun, and it's interesting because I almost every week have different people reaching out to me to say, hey, I'd like to do this. Our Qigong program started out of nowhere. Two people, Steve and Marsha Rath, are fantastic, and they've started a Qigong program. I didn't even know what Qigong was, and it's really grown, and there's been a following of about 15 plus people that show up every week to do Qigong. So
What is that?
Qigong is kind of like, in some ways, Tai Chi. It's a Chinese exercise, and it has to do with breathing and movement and some meditation. And it really, for some people, the yoga is too much for them. And I think
I can't get out the ground.
well, but I think that we have the option
Oh,
to really meet people at, and actually, you get falls. So many people we see with falls, a big deal. And things like Tai Chi, Qigong can be actually ways to prevent falls. So we keep trying to add and ask people what they want, and we've just been really fortunate to be able to do this.
I went and had a new doctor, a new physical, and first thing he said to me was, nicely, mind you, have you always been this big? Very nicely. And I said, yeah, probably for about 30 years now. After I had my kid, I just didn't lose the weight. And the first thing he asked me is, have you ever thought of surgery? Not help, not different choices.
Yep.
And I actually said no, but maybe I'll talk to somebody about it. And then I set the appointment up, and then I called him like, no, because I know Jeff Costa.
Yep.
And Jeff, but the day I'm ready, I got a phone call to Jeff. Listen, I need a little help. Can you show me a little bit of stuff to do? And I'm just not there yet. We talk about healthier lifestyle choices. Yes, I'm again, if you watch the show, sometimes I'll say I'm fat and happy. I'm going to show you my stuff I got from the doctors. People look at it going, that's not you. I went to a health fair, and you go to a section, and each section they do something else, and at the end somebody reads your stuff, and they call my name, and I come around the corner, and they're like looking like around me. I'm like, no, and they go, Traci Walsh. I'm like, yeah, and they're still looking, no, that's me. And they go, I would never thought in a million years that's you. I mean, my dad has, or had, my dad's passed, high blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, my twin, the diabetes, and I just say I'm fat and happy. When people look at my stick, they're like, no way. I'm like, yeah. I guess I'm fortunate. If I ever had that, got diabetes, I probably would say, what, I need to do something today. But we talked offline earlier before you got there that my healthy is my community and giving and paying it forward, helping the youth and the network and things like that. And I do worry, about my weight and things like that, because what happens if something happens to me? What happens to the community? Somebody pick up the place pieces, like, Gilda says, there's always somebody there to kind of, pick that up.
Traci?
Yeah, honey.
Any comments?
I don't see any. There's something wrong with my thingy dingy. So what's the comments? Help me out.
So Mark Carney says, thank you, Dr. Mike, well done. Laura Ferreira says, hi, Gilda, with a heart emoji.
Laura says hi.
And
Yeah,
Charlie Barnes says, this sounds awesome, and I want to check this out.
there you go. So usually I can see comments, so I'm just going to shut my thing off then, because I guess mine ain't working this week. So thank God you're here this week. Mariah wasn't here last week. And this weekend, I'll just give you these guys a shout out. Mariah actually is part of the Yes on 3 campaign for the transgender law to keep it as it is. So she's been volunteering on Saturdays and Sundays for Yes on 3. And Kevin Saturday and I went to Boston. We had our quarterly training for Bagley. Our Agley in New Bedford, they're all over the state. So every quarter we meet and we do our training. So, but anyway, okay, so what steps do you recommend for a healthy lifestyle? And if you had, look at me going, Trace, you know what, I know you're overweight, I got a couple things that you could do.
Yeah, I think like what you said though, people have to meet themselves where they're at, okay? And, you know, I actually try to do certain things because I think that our words are very important. So even when I try to talk to people about diet, it's not about weight, it's about eating healthy. It's not about necessarily exercise, it's activity, staying moving. And people don't realize that, you know, gardening or simple things that people don't think about are actually moderate activities. So, you know, there's a lot of opportunities out there to move our bodies. And as Gilda points out, she dances, so I'm not so sure how many calories she may burn, you know, any particular Monday night. But people have to keep moving. People have to eat food that makes them feel good. You know, again, and lots of it, you know, fruits and vegetables are very important. And just in one of the things I actually have a handout that talks about just eat this, not that kind of things. Yeah. Just making some simple substitution. People aren't going to make huge changes all the time. Meeting people where they're at, just say, hey, you know what, I want to work on one thing. Okay, I want to make one change. You know, I want to, you know, walk one more time additionally a week. I want to add an extra fruit or vegetable in. Start with those. That's the kind of stuff that, you know, achievable goals. What happens is that when people are trying to make changes, I think that they feel like they're overwhelmed. Do it all at once. All at once, right? And you know, I think that what has to happen is there has to be transformation. And the most important thing I think that we need to do as doctors is empower people, okay? We had this idea that pills and procedures and technology are very important, but there's nothing more powerful than an empowered patient, an empowered person, and then an empowered community to make the changes necessary to start where that one thing ripples to another. So one person's making some things, then that's going to inspire other people. I mean, again, Gilda's inspired tons of people. Oh, wicked. You know, for the way that, you know, and again, one of the most important things is like you said, community. You know, we forget that, you know, there's certain cues and different things that you know, sitting down and slowing things down. You know, we don't have to walk at 1,000,000 miles an hour. You know, and one of the things on the Saturday walks, I tell people, you know what, walk as far and as fast as you can. We've had people with walkers. Yeah. I've had patients and people that have gone actually in and pushed people in wheelchairs. So we'll try to meet people where you're at is the most important thing. And I also stress diet, exercise, stress, smoking, sleep, all those things are extremely important to find balance. And just making changes that are achievable in those different realms is what I think is the most important things for people to do. It's funny, I gave up soda on November 22nd, 2007, and I didn't lose any weight. Yeah. I stopped fried foods for a year and a half. I didn't lose any weight. I now have fried foods very sparingly, and Kentucky Fried Chicken had grilled chicken. They took it off the menu, so now I have to. If I do go, I'll get Kentucky regular chicken, you know, deep fried chicken. But
there's a Popeyes in Market Basket.
What, honey?
There's a Popeyes in Market Basket.
Oh, there's a Popeyes. Is that a shout out to Popeyes? So we're gonna just kind of skip. We're talking about healthy meals and healthy prep and eating. So we're going to go over here. So I have Crystal and Jeff, and Crystal's the cook for the Healthy Meals Prep. I am. And I had questions for you. How did you guys get started?
Well, it actually kind of started with me. I had my own personal journey. I lost over 70 pounds myself. Basically,
I'm sorry, our kids snap and I use something. That's a clap for us.
Yeah. So basically very unhappy with myself and I needed to make a change. It was after my second son. I just kept packing on the weight and basically blaming everyone but myself. Till I finally, you know, knew it was my me, and I needed to make some changes. So basically I made changes. I found a gym that I loved, a trainer that really inspired me. So, you know, working out is the easy part. I say that to everybody. So I started really going hard in the gym. My first year, lost like 30 pounds, which is great.
Yeah.
But I obviously could do more than that. And after the years when I really started getting into food, like I've always cooked. I was in culinary arts, so I love cooking. It was never my career. I actually was a lab tech. I went to school. I know, right? I went to school to be a lab tech. I worked at South Coast. I worked at the health center. So this was never supposed. But I always had a passion for cooking. So to bring it into healthy, I always would find unique ways to try to trick my husband or trick my kids or try to, you know, do that kind of stuff. So it just opened the door, and then I started helping people. So I started doing the Beachbody coaching, which is more of an online platforming.
Yep.
So I started helping people, and it was like, okay, well, you have to meal prep and you have to do this, and nobody wanted to do it. And it was just like, well, can I pay you and you do it? So it kind of birthed from there. I was helping some of my family and friends do it out of my house, and it wasn't really a business, and it blew up to the point where I was like, wait, like people were contacting me from everywhere, and I was like, this isn't a business, like wait. And then he's always had the entrepreneur mind. He's grew up with that, so he was like, well, we need to make this a business. So
Krista, how did you guys come up with the name?
my mom actually came up with it. We were brainstorming a couple things, and one day my mom called me and she was like, what about Crystal's Healthy Bites? And I was like, wait. And then I think I had told him, and he was like, what about just Healthy Bites? And I was like, yeah, it has like a ring to it. It's awesome. So that's how it was born.
Let's see. So we talked offline that you deliver twice a week. That's why that finger's broken. So twice a week.
Yes.
And
twice a week.
so if I called you up and I said, hey, I'm looking for something, what's going on? Tell me about your business. Tell me about your business.
So what I like to tell people, first off, we're a little bit different. We change our menu every week.
Yep.
So it's always different. I know when I cooked for myself, I would meal prep, and it would be 3 things and I would eat that all week, or 2 things and I would eat that all week. By the end of the week, you're like, I cannot eat chicken again, right?
Yeah.
So then you would order pizza because you're like, I'm not doing this. So that's what I went, so myself, these are all the tricks that I knew myself I would overcome. So this is why I put it onto my business. So that was one of the things. I needed to change it weekly. It has to be different. Cooking twice a week was something else too, because I thought cooking on Sundays for something that you're going to eat on Saturday just wasn't good.
Yeah.
Is it good technically? Yes. The flavor's gone. It's really, the meat is tough. It's just not edible. So you're not going to look forward to that. So again, it's going to cause you to cheat. So Fridays by midnight is our cutoff.
Yeah.
We cook on Saturdays for the Monday through Wednesday, and then we cook again Wednesday for Thursday through Friday. We don't have any weekends right now. We really like to promote, like, you need a day off for yourself.
Yeah.
You need a day off to not think about what you're doing. I'm not saying to make the whole weekend a cheat weekend. I tell people you can mess up your whole week of eating clean with one day. You can absolutely do that. So I always specify, like, you need a day of not thinking, but, like, you know, don't go ham. But
Don't go
so sweet.
Don't pizza, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right?
No, exactly.
So there's a 5-day Monday through Friday. You said, and how much is that?
So we have, you could tell us some options.
Yeah, well, we have a lot of different plans. We do just lunches only, dinners only. The full plan, which is the lunch, the dinner, the healthy snack, and a fresh fruit cup every day, starts at $125. So we actually have that on special right now for $105.
And how long's the special go for?
So we call this fall special. So I would say at least till the end of October. Yeah.
We plan on running that. We always have specials too. Like if something, so if the fall special goes away, we always bring, like, we'll probably have something for January. We usually do a plan for that. We had a spring special. So we always have something coming up. We have a couple special that's usually, it says a limited time, but we've had it, I think for like 2 years now.
Yeah.
So it's 2 of those plans. But you get
Two of the full
$40
plans, yeah.
off.
Yep. So if
you
I
buy them
order the
together.
lunch and the dinner, like, what's the size of the meal?
Yeah, so it's all portioned out. It's 4 ounces of protein, half a cup of carb, right?
Yeah, so that's another
3.
thing I wanted to tell you that we don't count
Yeah,
calories.
no count
we
the calories,
don't
yeah.
do anything like that, because what we want to do is make it a lifestyle change. I don't want it to be a diet. And to me, doing all these fads, like counting calories and cutting out carbs and doing this stuff, I feel like that doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's a fad. It's going to work for so long. Are you going to lose weight? Absolutely. You're cutting things out. But I feel like in the end, it makes you binge. It doesn't teach you anything. And when you go back to these things, it comes
When you're
right
on your
back
own, what are you
on.
going to do?
Exactly. So what we do is real food, but we make it healthy. Like he was saying, replace other things. Instead of using butter, we use olive oil or coconut oil. Instead of using dairy, we use coconut milk or almond milk. Like we just make smarter choices. Like our seasonings instead, I'm Cape Verde and I grew up on all the Goya.
Yep.
So we actually order Flavor God. It's a company based out of California. And they're like all natural, no GMOs, no MSG, and they grind everything to order and they send it. We're actually a wholesaler for them too. We actually sell the seasonings in store. So we use those type of seasonings. So it's very, very flavorful. Like that's one thing about our company. Like people always comment about how flavorful our food is because that's something that means a lot to me because I want you to enjoy your meals. You already think you're on a diet. I know when people order, they're like, okay, I'm going to get healthy, so I got to do this meal plan. And they'll message me back and be like, oh my God, I can't believe, like, this is so good. I can't wait to try what's for dinner. Like, and that's what I want people to think. Like, I don't want you to be like, I'm diet again. Like, here comes the chicken. Like,
So I could go into your shop and just try the food and just kind of say, oh, let me go walk in and
of
get
course,
a
yeah, we make extras. So
We just started a new thing, the grab and go meal. So it's like smaller portioned.
Yeah.
So we sell those all the time too.
So I can
And you
walk
could stop
and
in
just grab
and grab a couple of those.
something.
Yeah.
So what did you cook for the next 3 days? What day is today? It's Tuesday. So will you cook tomorrow?
So we actually cooking tomorrow. Yeah, the Thursday and
yes.
Friday meals. Yeah.
So
If I can
what's the menu
remember.
for that? Have you planned that yet?
we do have it, if I can remember. I know one of the
Trying to think
things
of-
was
I know it's the steak
rosemary and
dinner,
garlic
yeah.
steak tips. I know that was one of the dinners.
Oh, there's a pork dinner too, I believe, right?
Yeah, Parmesan crusted pork chops. So so everything's baked, nothing's fried, it's grilled.
That's good
So
to
I
know.
would use we use organic Parmesan, whole wheat breadcrumbs, instead of making like a wash. Like we don't use eggs or anything like that. I just season it, I put it in olive oil, and then I'll toss it in the breadcrumbs and the organic Parmesan, and then we bake it. But it comes out so flavorful and so tender,
Yeah.
just by the way you're cooking. So a lot of people think, like, they don't think
So
it's
for those
fried,
3
but-
days, I had the same lunch for 3 days, the same dinner for 3 days, and then changes again?
No.
Oh
Each
no,
day is
it's
something
different.
Each
Yeah,
day is
each
something
day's a different
different.
menu.
Yes,
Yeah.
each-
Yep.
yep. And each day is something different, and each week it's something different.
And does that include delivery, the 105 right now? Does that include the delivery?
No, we charge 10 for delivery for the
Okay.
week,
'Cause
and
we do
that
have pickup,
includes
too.
both the
So
deliveries.
you
Yeah.
can, I can, hey, I'm coming down. How often? So if you're making it, what, Wednesday for Friday? I don't know.
We have
Thursday and
Wednesday
Friday.
pickup
Wednesday
also.
pickup?
Yep, 3 to
Okay.
6, yep. So the people that had already ordered, so these people have already ordered in the beginning of the week. So they already
So it's
know.
saving $10.
Yes. Well, yeah, some pick up, some deliver. It depends on what your availability and your schedule is.
Yeah, it's like Gilda's, every time we see cars coming in and turning around. What's a restaurant in Onset that delivers to your restaurant, to your bar?
Pizza place.
Oh, Mark Anthony's.
Yeah.
Mark Anthony's from Onset will deliver the furthest to Gilda's Stone Rooster, so people will meet the delivery driver in Gilda's parking lot to
Oh,
get
okay.
and take off.
But I don't eat the pizza.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
You gotta live a little bit.
No.
Yeah, that's kind of funny.
Tracy?
Yeah, honey.
I have a couple
It's not for me, it's for my customers will call, and that's as far as they go. I allow them to deliver in my parking lot. But never was offered even a pizza. although
Let's see what you
don't-
get out
I
of
know,
that.
I was gonna say.
No.
Hey, Gilda, we have some comments. What you got?
So I think the two questions are directed to Dr. Mike.
Yeah.
So Shari would like to know what time on Sundays.
So we're 9 to 1. So we can be found at, we have a website, www.nbewell.com, or we have a Facebook page and a Facebook group and all that stuff. We always keep updated, so we let people know early in the week that who's even teaching, so they'll be able to know which teachers and what times the classes are going to be. So that's always up there. So we go 9 to 1 on Sundays.
And second question?
And she would also like to know how much sleep should a 58-year-old woman get every day?
Enough to feel rested. I think it changes. I think in general, the sweet spot for adults typically is around 7 hours. Actually, they've done studies for people that sleep more than 9 and less than 5. There may actually be a cardiovascular risk. Again, there's no causality, but they've looked at some big studies, and they kind of say that the sweet spot should probably be about 7 hours. Kids actually need more. So kids actually sometimes it's hard for kids to actually get enough sleep. So that's important too. So
one of the things, if you join our Facebook page, New Bedford Well, Dr. Walsh is always posting about heart healthy stuff, the farm stands,
Yep.
where they're located. You want to talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, so we're really fortunate, and unfortunately, the growing season's probably for the summer is kind of winding down, but there's still a lot of fall produce out there. But there's almost every town has a farmer's market. You can almost go to a farmer's market every day of the week around here. There's several in New Bedford, and there's 2 in Fairhaven, there's Dartmouth, there's Cushnet, and also there's pop-up farm stands. So now in New Bedford, at Coastal Food Shed, there's 3 days a week that they don't have a full farmer's market, but they actually have different places throughout the city. And I think that the nice thing about many of the farmers markets is they've made it more affordable. And I think that there was a big issue this year with SNAP and HIP benefits that there was a little lull for a while. They ran out of funding, they refunded it, and there was some issues about whether there was actually the specific machine that processes that. Actually, I think they've been able to get that to go for the rest of the year.
Electronic WIC is awful.
Yeah.
I work for Tedeschi Food Shops, and we first went from paper checks to the WIC. I was actually the WIC guru for Tedeschi Food Shop because I had the most WIC stores out of everybody.
Yep.
I had 5 New Bedford stores. Like, oh my God, that went down. It's hell.
Yeah, so they've been able to keep that going, and that gives people extra benefits. So, and also I think at a lot of the farmers markets, they've actually incorporated not just the produce, but also they've had chefs that they're doing demos. So I know a lot of them are doing demos because it's important not only to have the food, but we need people to be able to use it, right? So unfortunately, some people are a bit intimidated in the kitchen, and I think that it's important for people to not be intimidated. So I think that there's been really over the last 3 to 5 years a really an explosion, I think, of the farmers markets, and that each year they get better. And I'm really just privileged to see that happen.
It's funny, the only time I actually really go to one is when I'm in P-Town, and they have it on one of the corners on Saturdays. I can't remember. I'll be there this weekend. P-Town's calling me. It's Women's Weekend and Women's Week in P-Town. If you didn't know, it's exciting. All women go. I know you're excited for that. So let's talk about Gilda's script. Let's do that, Gilda.
Kept
What's
me
this?
up till 1 in the morning. He texted me when he left the bar and said, I need words of wisdom.
So you can find this at your bar. So basically it says Gilda's RX for life, prescription for life. Life is beautiful, don't let it slip by. Sure, life has its ups and downs. I've been there, and sometimes you need to pick yourself up. It says take care of your body with exercise, which will take away your frustrations and get your body in gear. Avoid junk food and eat healthy. Find your true friends who will make you feel alive and so happy. Forget your age and add a little wiggle in that walk. It's never too late. Enjoy what you have. If you follow these steps, I guarantee that you will become beautiful inside and out. And it's signed by Gilda. And it's actually a pad script that you can find at her bar that she will actually...
And in my office.
And in his office. I actually went... I went to South Coast and picked him up one day. He texted me, he's like, can you bring him to Gilda?
We need
She
one of
needs
those
more.
for Healthy Bites.
Yeah.
We'll put one of those in our store.
Yeah. So it's kind of amazing. So I know Dr. Roche has got some stuff here on the desk, so let's see what we got. Living with congestive heart failure. They have a bunch of events coming up at Hawthorne Medical Associates. Do you want to?
Yeah. So one of the things, and I think that we suffer with words and stigma in a lot of ways, and one of my subspecialties is actually taking care of patients with advanced heart failure. I've also taken care of many patients with heart transplants, and most things that people struggle with, the biggest problem is the psychosocial aspect. And again, medications are important, but a lot of these things we're trying to change. I don't like the word failure. I like that we need to change it to wellness. So it's more about CHF wellness and giving people the skill set of how can for some people that are struggling with some of these things, it's hard for them to know what their limitations are or know what they can do, what food. You know, for many of the patients I take care of, they unfortunately, I'm not trying to take the joy of eating out, but we have to be very careful about the salt intake and certain foods that they eat, because unfortunately if they take in too much salt and fluid, they may not be able to breathe. So we're also trying to educate people about their medications and what the side effects are, why they take them, because some of these patients are struggling with multiple medications. And also the depression end of things. And, you know, again, empowering people to be able to own it. And it's not just, you know, we're trying to do some of these things, not just for the patients, but also for the caregivers, their loved ones, and trying to make sure that we do the best we can so these people feel like they can live their lives. And, you know, that's really what our goal should be, is that, you know, we should be giving everybody the opportunity to live as best they can. So our program, 4 times a year, we're going to be able to do what we call like these little boot camps, where we have, there's a pharmacist one week, there's a nutritionist, there's somebody that does, you know, yoga, mindfulness, kind of mind-body kind of things, and we have also nurse practitioners. So what we're doing is to try to give people skill sets and give them back, empower them to be able to do as much as they can.
And is that paid for by someone's medical insurance, or
So the weekday program that we have, we're doing it in collaboration. So with community nurse and, you know, some people at Hawthorne, and people are volunteering their time essentially to be able to give these programs. It's Thursdays at 11 o'clock at Hawthorne. So, and again, it's anybody's patients. You know, it doesn't matter. My goal is not to be here in the community, and really, it's not about which organization I work for. It's really about trying to help patients as best we can, meet them where they're at. And you know, that's the nice thing is about many of the things that we do in the community. Like I said, we actually also have the South Coast Health Van once a month, and I forgot to mention that on Sundays at the Boys and Girls Club. And they're able to do blood pressure checks, vaccinations, education, and they're there from 9 to 1. So one time a month, people can come in and get, you know, things that they may need, and the people can check to see whether they're having trouble with their diabetes numbers. So I think that the goal is to really continue the collaboration around here, because I think that that's really, you know, when we all work together, our skill sets become much greater than anybody's individual opportunities. So our goal is to continue to give people opportunities to work together as the different organizations, but empower them to be as healthy as they can be.
Yeah, the health fair was actually at our Pride as well.
Yep.
So we try to keep everybody included. Second Hills Behavioral Health had their van there, so we were doing HIV testing with one van doing HIV testing, one van doing the healthy checks out there. So I did that. What's this? Oh, that's just a.
Yeah, so that's a handout that I give in my office about food as medicine. So
keep that one.
Yeah, what I do is I put that together. Actually, some of the other cardiologists were asking, because of the work that I've been doing, they said, "Hey, can you come up with a handout that we can give to patients?" And it really talks about overall healthy eating for your heart, but also some of the pitfalls with salt. So much, people sometimes, this happens every day. People, salt has a big impact on blood pressure, but also for patients that struggle with congestive heart failure. And people don't realize that most of it comes from processed foods and restaurant food. They think it's the salt shaker. So it actually comes from food, pizza, as notorious for having lots of salt, and a lot of the things that people may get out in restaurants. So what I try to do is to put something simple that everybody's on the internet, so I try to give people these resources. And I have a friend of mine who's doing work in Chicago called Gapel's Cardiovascular Institute, and he's been somebody that goes across the country talking about healthy eating for heart, and I've been able to put his information up there because it's just really well done. And I think that food is the first place to try to make sure that we can be as healthy as possible.
It's funny you're talking about salt, and I have an identical twin. If you met me on the street, you'd probably go, "Tracy," and she'd be like, "No, Terry." And actually, Gilda, she was at your bar a couple weeks ago, and people thought it was me visiting Gilda, my twin. I gave up salt when I was 13, and my dad had a triple bypass. We had just lost our uncle shortly right before that,
Yep.
and I don't put salt in my diet. However, if something has salt on it, it is what it is, but God, do I miss it, salt and a tomato and a cucumber and fries. I miss that. So my twin's like, well, how come you didn't get the diabetes and you're fat? And I'm like, well, you were not as fat. I said, but I cut it out. I'm on no medications, zero. And people are like, zero. You know, so I guess again, I'm on that lucky side that tomorrow it could change, you know. Doing our research, I know this is the LGBTQ Voice. I was talking with our production assistants offline that I picked out top health issues for lesbians, top health issues for gay men, and some of them, you know, are close. But, you know, the lesbian one, which I thought was funny, is traditionally lesbians and bisexual women have been less likely to bear children, and as a result may not fully benefit from hormones released during pregnancy and breastfeeding. These hormones are believed to protect women against different types of cancers. I never thought about that, you know. I mean, there's a lot of gay women who just will never have kids, you know, so maybe they're more likely to have cancer. And we talk about the heart disease. You know, we have a lot of homeless kids. We were talking offline that we received a grant to help some of our kids. We have 4 grants, and it's for decreasing homelessness and and unemployment, you know, for these kids. But they're on the streets, you know, they're not eating healthy. We did a show, and Marcy Pina Christian was on our show, and from Human Relations Commission downtown, and actually Kevin to my right over here called me up. He says, hey, Marcy's in the office, she'd like to talk to you. And I'm like, well, I'm on my way. And I get there, and Marcy's like, listen, you know, we have a homeless person, she's a transgender, she can't stay with her mom. Her mom's only allowed to live by herself, but she feels bad. She'd be trying to sneak the, you know, her male to female, you know, child into the place, but when she does, people try and beat her up. And she's like, she just took that sandwich out of the trash, and she's eating it. I said, okay, and we finished the conversation. She goes, she's eating it out of the trash. I'm like, that's what she needs to do to eat. That's just, you know, it was a sandwich from like a Dunkin' Donuts sandwich that somebody didn't want or something and threw it in the trash. You know, that's when I pulled out my street sheet. And I said, wait, I said, here's a whole bunch of places that you can eat for free. You know, and I wrote down all the places in New Bedford for these folks to eat. When I say, and homelessness is more prevalent in the LGBT community than it is, you know, the heterosexual community. So we're talking about discrimination, and we actually have a social justice portion of our network. Christina, I'm going to say her name wrong, DeFonseca, works for the housing, sorry Christina, I'm going to say it wrong. But we try and do different things for our organization to help out these different groups so we can stop the homelessness, we can work on the addiction, we can work on the suicide, and all those things could, you know, bring us back to a healthier lifestyle choices. I mean, some of our kids, you know, Cape Verdean, I mean, we actually marched in the Cape Verdean Parade the last 2 years, yay! But that's our target population. HIV has been on the rise in New Bedford for years now, and our target population is men, having sex with other men, and transgender women, and ages 14 to 24. And we can't find these men. These people, that target population, aren't anywhere. We've been trying to find them, and not just our AGLI, but different groups that we talk to, they can't find them either. To kind of give them the help they need. They get kicked out of their homes. 38,000 grandparents are now watching their grandkids. So they're stuck in their old ways, you know, so you can't tell grandma, grandpa, Nina, grandpa, whatever you want to call your grandma and grandpa, that you're gay. They're going to kick you out. And then where are you going to live? You know, so you're hiding yourself, you're in the closet, you don't know what to do. So now again, your thoughts, your feelings of suicide, and we talk about healthy choices, and I don't want to go into all the statistics that I have because I just thought it was, you know, some of them were funny, but it's, you know, heart disease, cancer, fitness, obesity, injury, violence, mental health, and suicide. We actually lost, I'll say it on several shows, we lost 2 of our kids 4 years ago to suicide. They're gone. We don't have them anymore. We actually had 2 kids complete it, as they say now, and 2 kids try. You know, so we talk about, I think that's one of the reasons I want to kind of do a show on healthy, you know, lifestyle choices. Sometimes it is a choice, and sometimes it's a need. You know, that kid was, you know, 28 years old, and no place to go, and found food in the trash. Well, nothing or food in the trash. When I worked for Tedeschi Food Shops, I told my boss that there's a couple of stores that sell expired food. They have signs posted that says, yes, we sell expired food, we believe they're still healthy. It's our Frugal Franks, And I apologize, I can't remember the other one right now. But my boss is like, no way, that doesn't happen. I'm like, I'm telling you. I said, when you're on SNAP and WIC and things like that, you want to make your food stamps, you want to make your food last longer. So I actually went with one of our people of our merchandising department, Dan Powers, and we pretended we were boyfriend and girlfriend. We walked into one of the shops, and I said, check it all out. You could get like a dozen candy bars for $1. They had sausage patties, all kinds of stuff frozen, no ingredient labels, no calories, no nothing, and they just had a price point on it. Who knows what the expiration date would be? The Gatorades weren't expired. There's some things that weren't, but you get the jerky and it's white, the beef jerky, and I'm like, so we bought a whole bag of food for like $3. I got up to the register and the lady's like, oh honey, you can get 5 more candy bars because they're 12 for $1 and you only have a couple. And I said to Dan, I'm like, what do you think, honey? Do you think we should? No, I gotta watch my weight. And I joked about it. And I brought the whole bag of expired food back to my boss and I said, here, Dan, tell him. You know? There's just, I mean, to make ends meet, people gotta do what they gotta do. You got a family to feed? Well, you know, you take that chance. I mean, expired milk, I won't eat it on the 9th. If it expired on the 8th, that's me. You know, I'll smell it, I'm like, no, can't do it. It's in my head. But you know, how many days would you, you know, oh, let me pass it by because I don't have the money. So we're talking about healthy choices, and sometimes it's not a choice, it's a need. You know, I want to kind of go back to you guys. I know we got maybe 9 minutes or so left. Sometimes we end a little early, sometimes we don't. I like the idea of healthy meal preps. I see it on Facebook. My friends will do it, and like you talked about, they'll have the whole like a dozen meals, you know, prepped up, and I'm like, well, damn, you're eating the same damn thing all week.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
You
when
know?
People are doing it themselves, I mean, they don't have time to, for one, come up with a different menu every week. Like it even takes me a lot of time. Like it takes a lot of effort to put into what the menu that we're doing and stuff like that. But like you said, I think there's a need though, because I don't want people to cheat. I don't want people to not eat it. For one, you're spending your money on it, so I don't want it to go in the garbage. And like for two, like I want you to be excited about it, and I want you. This is something you never had before. Like one of our lunches is a Mexican stuffed sweet potato. Like people would never. And like there's another one that we make is a buffalo chicken stuffed sweet potato. People go nuts for that one. Like if I put it on the menu, like they'll ask, like, when are you gonna do this again? And I'm like, well, we don't rotate. Like we rotate menus, but not for a long time. But there's people that will order 10 of them.
Yeah,
and have 10 of them, like for
a
the
few
week.
of those, yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Now, do you have people that will freeze it and then pull it out later to reheat it? Is that something that
Some people
do?
would prefer to freezing.
Yeah,
but
they'll tell us if, but
you don't have to though.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
It's
of
meant that
cooking
it's not
twice a
supposed
week.
to be like that, you know. Yeah.
I used to manage the Burger King in Falmouth, and people would come over from Woods Hole, and they'd buy like 5 extra Whoppers, and they'd take it back and they would freeze it. So I'm like, okay. And I just can't see the mayonnaise.
For some people,
Yeah.
for some reason, people think if they freeze it, like it's good. Like
Yeah.
my nana does that all the time, right? She'll put stuff in the freezer for like 6 months and pull it out. Like, yeah, Chris, I'm like, okay, that's gonna go in the garbage. But thank
So
you.
here's a funny thing. But my parents growing up, we didn't have a lot of money and whatnot, and coupon shopping was my mom's biggest thing, and she'd get the big bag of chips. You can freeze chips, which people are like, what? Listen to this. I'm like, there's no way you can freeze chip, because when it thaws out, it's going to be soggy, right? It's a frozen chip no matter what. So when you go home tonight, take it, and she would put them in a little bag used for us to take to school and whatnot. She would already have a pre-portion, because again, it's a need to make things last. And Lucy had a snack or something, but chips are just frozen. So when you take it out the next day, it's still just cold, and 3 days later, it's still just a chip. So it's kind of funny, you know, what you kind of learn along the ways. So how many meals do you guys make a day?
Well, we only cook twice a day, really.
We
Yeah.
cook twice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
we cook
it's a
twice
Saturday
week,
and a
so,
Wednesday.
Right now,
Well, I'd say we're probably pushing close to 300-400 meals a week right now.
yeah, probably.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
So that's why you take the weekends off.
Oh no, we're there all.
No, we're
weekend.
there all weekend.
No,
Oh,
I
yeah.
know.
Yeah, because we
Yeah.
cook on the weekends. Yeah, but no, we used to have Saturdays because, like I said, I always
Yeah.
promote that one day you shouldn't think about it. And we used to have Saturdays, but it didn't go so well. Like people didn't do a 6-day meal prep. It would just.
Yeah.
So I kind of got rid of it and I let them kind of do what they want because I want them to transition into that. Like I said, I want it to be a lifestyle. I don't know if it's stupid or naive to say, but like I don't think people are going to be on Healthy Bites forever. This is a learning experience for you so you can see. So I feel like on the weekends when they kind of got to do it by themselves, they're learning to adjust and like, okay, so this is going to be my life now. Because I feel like for me, that's the only way that things change was when I made it a lifestyle. And like now I don't think think about it. I remember going on vacation or knowing that there was a vacation coming, and I would get so much anxiety because I'm like, I'm not there. Like, I gotta go on a diet. I gotta do this. I don't even think about, like, if somebody asks me my weight right now, I'm like, when's the last time I went to the doctor? Like, that's when I think about my weight, and I feel like that's how it should be for people. Like, you shouldn't have to think about it. It should just be a natural. And like portion control to me is important because then when you're going to a restaurant, you're gonna know, oh, all right, I'm full, I gotta stop.
Yeah.
Because especially in New Bedford, we're way over portioned. You go anywhere and like half the time me and him split meals because
we definitely don't.
and sometimes we don't even finish it. It's ridiculous how much over portion we have. I mean, it's probably not just in New Bedford, but we have an abundance of, Portuguese and.
Oh, yeah.
So you think you can go
I'm gonna
to
feed my family. No, here you go, have some more.
it really for like $10 you can like you go in there and it's like, or you can get a half a roasted chicken and rice and potatoes and it's like $5.
Yep.
But I don't want no rice. I don't want rice and potatoes. Can I have a veggie? Oh, you're gonna pay extra for that. Oh, but I could have a mountain of rice and fries and.
I think on Facebook somebody just posted it's $1 for a sandwich and $3.99 for a fruit cup or whatever.
It's so true, and that's how.
Healthy stuff, even all the organic stuff, costs a lot more money.
And that's the excuses for people. Like that's their justification. Well, like it's too expensive to eat healthy.
Yeah.
Like okay, so how much is your life worth to you?
Yeah.
I was getting to the point where, like he was saying, like doctors are very nice about it, but like I have Dr. Kelly, which he's awesome too. But like that's when it would start to be like, oh well, you gained 10 pounds this time you see him a year, and then he's like, oh well, you gained 10 pounds this, like you can't do that every year. But they're very like like instead of just saying like no you're fat, but like you need to do something about it. It's like well you can't gain 10 pounds every year. It's like yeah I know that, but that's what I've been doing.
That's what I'm doing. Let me just see, is there anybody? She's laughing. Her eye was like, yep. Any other comments or highs or?
Not that I see.
I don't know what happened. I couldn't see mine. So Gilda, I won't see you this Friday because where I'm going to be, I'll be in P-Town.
P-Town.
Oh,
Yeah. So I won't see you this Friday. I try and get together with Gilda once a week, but I ended up seeing her Friday this past week, and then today's Tuesday, so I did see you this week.
yeah, you did.
Yeah, I saw
it
you
was
tonight.
Tuesday. I was trying to figure out the day.
Yeah, I used to go see her on Tuesdays, but just, I don't know, things kept going with my job, and by the end of the week, I'm like, oh my God. And then being a new foster parent and stuff, so it's just a little bit rough. So Gilda, any words of wisdom before we head out?
Huh?
Do you have any words of wisdom before we head out?
Oh. Just do what you're doing, that's right. I don't know, I'm just me and I know what I have to do and not do.
I mean, one of the things I love about Gilda is we have conversations about her family members that are transitioning male to female, female to male, and she asks me all the time, she has a friend that doesn't understand what it's like, how do you like women? I said, well, how do you like men? And she's an older woman. She goes, well, I just do. And I go, well, so do I. I just like women. So we have these conversations at Gilda's Bar with some of her patrons. Yeah. People have questions, and she's, oh, Traci's going to come on Friday. You got a question, come see Traci. We just received, and again, if you guys want to get a hold of me, it's Traci at, I think AJ puts it up, Traci at sclgbtqnetwork.org. And then don't forget about our sponsorship. You can see that on the LGBTQ Voice or the South Coast LGBTQ Network. And again, 50% of the proceeds goes to the community and things that we're doing. But I love going to visit you. When I can't visit you, I'm like, oh, I didn't get to visit Gilda this week. She has a side room that's family only, and it actually, the bridge before Cool Cone and what's the other restaurant? I say it all the time.
Yeah. That's the music room.
Yeah, the music room. You get to see the bay. The water's right there. So in the summertime, she opens up the windows, and we just sit there and just chill and relax and just kind of watch the water. I guess that's my happy place, when I go see Gilda, and same as P-Town. I go twice a year for my happy place to kind of, shut down and digress. I mean, I had a girlfriend at one point that was sober for 12 years, 7 before me and 5 with me, and every year she'd go away for the weekend. Just that's her thing for her healthy choices. So again, today's show was Healthy Choices. Next week we have survivors of sexual assault. Eileen Dugas will be hosting next week. And so I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Thanks. Take care and have a good week.